going on? What's going on? It's Lady Dre and welcome to Healing Sessions. So for today, we'll be talking about patience, right? The surrender and control of that. And then also too, we'll talk about purging and what that looks like when that's coming up for you. And really, it's really a tool to be able to help you. So purging is not a bad thing. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about honoring your feelings, but not staying there, right? So you can honor how you feel, whatever it is that you're going through at the moment, but the goal is to not stay there, right? Let the energy flow through that and be able to transmute that energy, right? So we want to do that. And then the last thing we'll talk about is, of course, loving yourself and giving yourself some grace during this time. Okay, so first, let's talk about patience. Okay, patience is required. That's it. Patience is required. It's a part of the journey. So I feel like the sooner that you understand that on the forefront, you won't have to worry about that on the back end, right? So I'll be transparent. So for me, I have had a previous channel, right? It was a tarot channel, and I had it for a few years, and it really did not get that many, not only subscriptions, but likes, and yet I was still investing, like putting in, doing videos, making sure that I upload, and this is for over 2 years, right? And it was just not hitting. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, it was just not hitting. I was like, okay, God, I don't know if you want me to do that. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I am able to use that divination, but maybe it's not meant for me to do a tarot channel. So I said, okay, but I knew that I was supposed to use my voice, right? So I was okay, let me just revamp this. Let me see what I need to do in order for me to still be able to be creative, use my voice, but also to be able to give back, right? And so the channel didn't do well, period. It didn't do well. So I was like, yes, it bruised the ego, and it's like, okay, I'm questioning, should I even be doing this, right? Should I be doing this? I know that I have a calling to be able to use my voice, but that was just not it. So I was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? So still in that process though, I was still purging. I was still learning about myself. I was still healing those traumas. I was still, still pushing forward, right? And that's the thing with patience is you still have to push forward. Okay? It may not come how you want it to come. That does not mean that's not going to come, right? It may not show up how you want it to show up, but that does not mean that it's not going to show up. And so, a part of that, again, is patience and having faith to know that you're on the right journey, right? You know that you are meant to be doing what you're supposed to be doing. You know that you are living in your purpose. And sometimes, even in living in that purpose, there are still things that you have to learn, have to grow, have to evolve, right? And so, for me, that has definitely been a life lesson of not seeking outside validation. That's been a life lesson since I was a little young child, right? Because I was placed in situations where no matter what kind of effort I put in, it just still was being met with resistance. It would be met with rejection. And of course, that would mess with anyone, right? That would make anyone feel like, why am I doing this? Why should I do this, right? Not to mention, at the same time, I'm learning to speak up for myself, use my voice. I'm doing all these things, right? And it's still not showing up or looking how I want it to look, right? So that's why it was so difficult for me to even start this channel, because it was like, okay, I put so much effort, love, sweat, tears into creating a platform where I can be able to not only express myself, but express healing, to be creative, all this was for me. This is what I wanted to do, right? And so I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if this is what I want to do again, because again, I feel like with any kind of rejection, yes, it plays a part into, damn, do I want to do this again? Like, do I want to even like do this is what I want to do, And so, for myself, it was like, I know that I'm supposed to use my voice, period. I know that, right? And so if it's not going to be in tarot, then that's fine. But I have to still use my voice, right? And so that's how heal.n sessions came about, right? Heal.n session came about because it was for me, it was about something that I know that, one, that I love, that I'm passionate about, and it's something that I do every day, right? And that is healing. Healing is very important to me. Healing is I'm very passionate about that, right? Because for me, for myself, if there were certain areas healed in my life previous to things happening, I'm sure that I wouldn't have gone down different roads or different, directions. However, again, I believe it's all for your good. So, maybe it was meant for me to go through that process, right? Go through that process of being invincible, right? And not invincible, but invisible, right? And so for a long time, it was that's how I felt. I felt like I was invisible. Like I literally like, and the crazy thing is not even through the channel, right? Just even in my regular life, right? Because, there were times where literally I'm not afraid of hard work. I love learning, it's not hard for me to learn anything really if you show it to me, and by the grace of God, I'm thankful that I have that gift to be able to learn that way, and so I'm grateful for that in that aspect. However, there have been things where I have learned and put in the effort to better myself, to better my position, right? And so yeah, it's difficult when you know that you're putting in the work, you're learning what you need to learn, and it's just not returning how you thought it should, right? So for instance, like the last company that I worked at, right? I literally, like, it was a new position, so I learned so much. And granted, for me, when I decide to go into situations or go into things, like I'm thinking about all aspects, right? And yeah, maybe that comes from, me overthinking and me feeling like, I have to do X, Y, Z in order for it to work. Again, that's part of the triggering of feeling like you have to do everything in order for it to work, right? And that was a part of my wounding even growing up, right? It's like, okay, well, if I do X, Y, Z, oh, they'll stay. If I do X, Y, Z, they'll appreciate me. If I do X, Y, Z, then, they'll love me, right? And it's like, you cannot seek validation outside of yourself, right? It starts internally. It starts with you, right? And so, for me, yeah, it was situations that I was constantly put in order not only for me to grow, but to evolve, but again, for me to recognize the lessons that I need to learn, right? And one of those life lessons for me was not seeking validation outside of myself. And so again, even going back to, 2-3 years ago when I did the other channel, that played a part in, my wounding. It played a part in my wounding because it was like, okay, I'm doing all this. I'm showing that I'm interested. I'm showing that I'm investing. I'm showing that, I want this. Yet it's still not showing up. It's like, okay, so what's the problem? Like, how long you gonna make me wait, God? You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I will say in those very instances where I was like, okay, God, what's going on? There was still some things that I needed to learn in order for me to be able to go to the next level, right? And this is what I was explaining to you in another video. Is like, you're going to have to do the work in order to go to the next level. That's it. You know what I'm saying? No one's exempt. You know, I'm not exempt. You're not exempt. So you're going to have to do the work, you know? And so for me, even with creating this channel, it was about, Andrea, just put the messages out there, right? Put the messages out there, and you know what? The people will come, you know, but you have to do what you have to do. Just like how I invested all this time into that last job, you know, where I'm like, okay, I'm going to learn all these things. And ultimately, I learned all these things, ran circles around different people, you know what I'm saying? And it made people feel away. I'm just like, going to be straight up with you. And on top of that, when it was all said and done, you know, because I did such a great job, like, it shouldn't have been nothing when you guys came back to offer me a position, right? And then, and you offered me a position, you offered me more money, however, but you weren't giving me my worth. You understand what I'm saying? And so, again, not only, you know, dealing with outside of work, but dealing inside of work, right? So you're like, okay, I'm coming here day in, day out, learning these new things, not only to be able, because for me, when I learn, I like to learn things where I can be able to utilize them at different times, not just, okay, well, I'm gonna learn this today so I can just use it for today. No, like, I like to learn different things to be able to not only help me evolve, but just have different perspective, right? And so, it was interesting because I'm like, okay, well, I'm putting all this effort in, and I still did not get the result that I was looking for, right? So I'm here to tell you, like, there are a few scenarios where if whatever you're looking for is not showing up for you yet, whatever blessings, whatever miracles that you're looking for that are not showing up yet, they're on their way. However, I've also understood that, you know, sometimes it's not time. Other things are happening behind the scenes that need to happen in order for things to move forward. You still need to do some more work. You understand what I'm saying? And ultimately, divine timing is at play. Divine timing is at play, and you have to understand that long as you're doing your part, God is always going to come through. Like, I want you to understand me. Long as you do your part, God is always going to come through for you. Okay? And so sometimes I know we're looking like, okay, when? Like, okay, when? Like, I planted the seeds. I did what I was supposed to do. Now, like, what's up? Like, what, I needs mine. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, understand that, you know, those feelings are coming up in order for you to heal, right? So whether it's areas for you to continue to work on your faith, right? Continue to work on your spirituality, continue to work on your self-love, your self-growth, your soul's evolution, whatever it is, understand that it's required. And as much as you feel like you're being patient, you know, extra patient, extra patient, like, it's going to come. It's going to come, but you have to continue to just keep pressing forward, keep moving forward, keep knowing that God is not going to forsake you. God is not going to promise you something and not give it to you. Understand that, right? So with honoring your feelings. So for me, you know, with trying to, you know, venture into this new channel, right? I'm like, do I want to do this? Do I want to go through this again? Do I want to go through this rejection again? Do I really want to do that? You know what I'm saying? And ultimately for me, it was like, Andrea, you have to. But again, because it's not about you seeking validation outside of yourself, right? It's about you sharing the message, you being able to help someone in their time of need, you be able to inspire, you be able to encourage. Like, that's what it's about. That's what your purpose is about. It's not about seeking validation outside of that, right? It's not about the likes, not about the subscription count. Does that help? Absolutely. But That does not mean that I should give up because, again, it's not showing up how I wanted to show up, right? If this is something that you say that you really want, that you have sacrificed for, that you have put in the work for, trust and believe, like, it will come back to you. It will come back to you. But you have to understand that there are things that are in play in order for everything to kind of align the way that it needs to. And sometimes, it's going to take a little bit extra longer, especially if you have one of them, outstanding, out of this world dreams like I do, then it's, of course, you know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna just happen overnight, you know what I'm saying? And this is something that I've been working on for a long time, not only within myself, but just working on speaking, using my voice, right? So, growing up, I was teased. I was teased for my voice. I'm not even going to tell you who they say I sound like, but I was teased. I was teased at an early age for my voice. And it played a part into, again, me speaking up, me using my voice, right? This is a long time coming. You understand what I'm saying? Like, me being here right now, this is a long time coming, because at the end of the day, it were so many obstacles placed in front of me to be able for me not to use my voice. Right? For me not to be able to speak up, for me not to be able to be in a position where I speak up for someone else, right? And so, at an early age, I was teased for my voice, and I can just remember even at times, like, I'll be on the school bus, and I literally wouldn't say nothing or wouldn't talk to people on the bus, simply because I already knew, like, as soon as I said something, they would make fun of my voice. Right? So, and on top of that, I was a really reserved child, you know what I'm saying? I was like to myself, very introvert for sure, and then on top of that, being gifted, being an empath, being able to feel the different emotions of people, and not understanding where it was coming from, anything. I just know that I felt different. I knew that I was different. And I felt emotions on a different level than other people, right? And so that was something that definitely it did something to me, and not until probably like my late teens, early 20s, where I was in a situation and I had to defend myself, right? I had to defend myself. And I just remember like thinking like, damn, like I should have been done that. You know what I'm saying? Like I should have been done that. But again, you'll be put in situations, you'll have tests, there'll be things that will come about that will challenge you to stand up for yourself, that will challenge you to use your voice, that will challenge you to be able to still move forward and keep pushing forward, even when the obstacles and the challenges look bigger than you, right? And so, and that was, that was years ago. That was over 20 years ago. You know what I mean? So, of course, now, like, I'm in a different space. Like, I'm going to use my voice. I'm going to stand up for myself. I'm going to stand up for the little person. Like, no, because there were so many times that I didn't use my voice, right? There were so many times where I didn't speak up, and not just for my own benefit, but somebody else's, right? And so it was just very, very important for me to push through. And so even with the healing sessions, again, it was for me to push through. Like, forget about the other channels, forget about the Instagrams and maybe your like count is not up and your following count is not up and your subscription count, like all that may not be up, right? But is that going to stop you from being creative? Like, no. Is that going to stop you from being able to share the message? It shouldn't, right? But again, it takes time, it takes patience, and so for me, with the patience, what it looked like was, okay, so when it wasn't coming fast enough, I would get into my little huff puff mode and, okay, well, I'm not doing nothing. I'm not doing nothing. I'm I'm not, whatever you got, whatever you want me to do, like, no. You know what I'm saying? But it's so funny because it was short-lived. It would be short-lived because, like, ultimately, again, I knew that I was on a certain path, right? And so, yeah, even though I felt like that I had to be able to heal those areas where, you know, that rebellious dread would come out. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, when she don't get her way, you know what I'm saying? When she don't get her way, when she don't get what she want, oh, rebellious dread come out. And that simply is because, let me tell you, you know, even in my adult life, like, you know, I was a single parent for a very, very long time, right? You know, and still a single parent, you know, right now, right? And so, I said that to say something. Okay, yeah, so, for me, it was like, I had to do everything by myself. You know what I'm saying? There was nobody for me to fall back on and be like, okay, well, I don't feel like doing this, so you can do it. You know, I don't feel like picking up the kids, so you can do it. Like, I didn't have that, right? So literally everything that I did on my own. So if I didn't get what I wanted, it was simply because I didn't do it, right? And so that also was a triggering and a wounding, because it was like, okay, well, again, if I do everything I'm supposed to do, then it's going to show up. And it's like, no, that's not the case, because sometimes it's not meant for you to do everything. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes it's just meant for you to do your part. That's all that's being required, is your part. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we go through life feeling like, okay, we can do this, we can do that, we can do, and I'm saying that you cannot dabble. What I'm saying though is, when it comes down to your healing journey, like, there are things that's going to come up, and the things that you will purge, right, in order though for to make room for what's coming again, the new, right? But so for me, yeah, so those feelings will come up of, you know, I'll get rebellious, like, real quick. I'll get rebellious real quick, and like, okay, you know, this is what we gonna do. This is what we gonna do. I'm not doing what you want me to do. You know what I'm saying? And I, like, find myself pouting. And literally find myself also too in a space too where I'm like, well, God, why? Why is it taking so long? Why, you know, why are you making me wait? You know what I'm saying? Haven't I waited long enough in life? Haven't I suffered enough in life? Haven't I struggled enough in life? Like, so, oh, you acting like the people out here in the streets. You know what I'm saying? That's how I was talking to God, like, so you acting like these people in the streets. You know, and of course I had to check myself again, but I'm saying, if you are not aware of your triggers, if you are accountable for the actions, like, you know, so that's the only reason I can sit here and tell you that, right? Is because, for real, you know, I was mad. Like, you know, God, why you got me waiting so long? What is it that you want me to learn? What haven't I not learned already? Have I not shown you I'm patient? Have I shown you over time and time again how patient I am, how dedicated I am to this journey, how loving I am to this journey? So why are you making me wait? You understand what I'm saying? But then it's like, well, why not? Why not? You still have work to do. See, it's not like that 9 to 5 where you feel like, okay, well, if I put in X, Y amount of time, then, you know, oh, I'm going to get a promotion, or I'm going to get a raise, or I'm going to, you know, move up in the company. And granted, sometimes we're like that, and sometimes I don't. But see, the difference is, like, God don't operate like on man's terms. You can pout all you want to. Like, you listen, I already know my angels and my guides, even my ancestors, they were looking at like, girl, like, if you don't, if you don't stop, you know what I'm saying? Because you're blessed. You know what I'm saying? You have favor. You have protection. God watches over you, protects you all day, every day. So yeah, you have to be a little patient, suck it up. But the more that I'm searching and trying to seek validation from other people, you're not going to get it. So keep pushing forward. You know what I'm saying? Purge whatever that you need to purge. Honor how you feel. But then keep it moving. Right? Because we all are going through a journey. Our journeys may not look alike. They may resemble, they may be similar, who knows, right? But we all have a journey. And the rules apply to everybody across the board. And if you are waiting on something to be revealed to you, if you're waiting on something to show up for you, trust and believe that, guess what? It will show up when it needs to. It will be delivered when it needs to. And in the meantime, keep healing, keep growing, keep working, keep being your best self. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, that's what it is. You know? So the healing journey is it's multifaceted. It's so many different things that you have to learn and take away from, and ultimately, you know, I'm here to let you know, like, patience is required. It's not a bad thing. And it truly is a virtue. It truly, truly is. Because you know what? You have to be patient and be in a space of surrender, right? Not trying to control the outcome. And that was another thing for the part of patience, the control and surrender part. Because again, you know, I'm trying to control the outcome. Like, okay, well, I did 1, 2, 3. Now I need 4, 5, 6. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, boo. First of all, you ain't controlling nothing. You listen, God got this. God has got this. Stop. So I had to surrender. I had to surrender and understand that there's still more healing. There's still more growth. There's still more that needs to be done. It don't stop. But know that you protected. Know that you guided. Know that you loved. Know that you're honored. You understand what I'm saying? Know that, listen, when it needs to come, it will be there. Without a doubt. You know? So trust that. Know that. Understand that. And whatever your journey looks like right now, just please, please continue to have the faith. Please continue to know that you are worthy. And yours, listen, it's written. It is written. Can't nobody take that away from you. So yeah, you may have to work a little bit harder. Yeah, you have to put a little bit more sweat. Yeah, you may have to sacrifice a little bit more. But guess what? It's coming. It's coming. And when listen, it's up. It's up. You know? So just trust and understand, like, you know, it's all part of the process, you know, and know that all is well. All is well, you know? So I want to thank y'all for tuning in to Healing Sessions. Again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'm asking you guys to please, you know, like and share and subscribe, and please, you know, I'm asking that you help me build the channel up and just get the messages out, you know. So I'm gonna do my part, and I'm asking you guys to do your part. All right, I love y'all. Y'all be easy, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.